Today, I wanted to focus on Korra herself. After all, if your titular character isn't good, then your whole show falls apart. I've seen all kinds of things said about Korra, some of which I did agree with for a while, from her character never developed and that she was handed power-ups instead of earning them, all the way to straight up being a Mary Sue. Today, I'm set out to debunk these arguments because Korra did develop, and while she may have been handed some power-ups, weird. Let's get wild, and let's get right into this. Since Korra has seasonal story arcs, most people just assume that the same goes for the character arcs, and while it is true to some degree and for some characters, Korra's arc is this point that Korra was created as the antithesis to Aang. You know, Aang didn't want to be the Avatar, Korra did, all that kind of stuff. It goes a little deeper than that, but you get the picture. They're opposites. Aang had trouble with the physical side of being the Avatar in bending, and excelled in the spiritual side of being the Avatar. As a result, Aang had a very simple arc where he was just overcoming physical challenges and trying to find different ways to solve problems, arc, and that she was already good at bending, but was horrible at spiritualism. And being written as the opposite of Aang, I think it gives off the illusion that she's because we've been so used to Aang for 3 seasons that throwing a new character at us who's his exact opposite was jarring for many people. Anyways, each season challenges Korra's spiritual abilities and her mindset towards being the Avatar. In Season 1, Korra's whole identity is based around the fact that she considers that her identity. She wants to fulfill her duty as the Avatar, which at the time she thinks is just beating up bad guys and solving her problems with violence. This is where her struggle with airbending begins. She finds it difficult to learn because she thinks of bending. Air is the element of freedom after all, and that was something Korra never had growing up with the White Lotus, and after coming to Republic City, she was hated and ridiculed by almost everyone there because she was impatient and didn't bother to acclimate to life in the city. By leaving the South Pole, she While Korra is brash and reactionary, Amon is calm and calculated. Korra is defined by her ability to bend the elements. She thinks that that's all the Avatar is, and Amon takes pride in taking people's bending away, and to do so to the Avatar would be his greatest achievement. When he takes Korra's bending away, he also takes away her entire identity. This is why she doesn't just go in and face Amon directly earlier in the season, because she's afraid he'll take her identity from her. While impatience is one of her defining traits, another is trepidation. As impatient as she is to solve the problem at hand, Korra is also very reluctant to go in and actually do it. These two These two things combined are what creates Korra's mental block that further prevents her from airbending. They are two contradictory mindsets in that being impatient and then not acting on that impatience results in nothing getting solved and things getting worse. Once Mako was about to lose his bending right in front of her and she couldn't do anything to stop it was when she finally snapped and did something. All of her fear about losing her bending / identity was gone because she didn't have that anymore, so she had nothing else to lose by acting, something that she stopped herself from doing because she was afraid to lose her bending. Korra learning airbending wasn't a Deus Ex Machina Mary Sue moment, it wasn't pulled out of nowhere, It was thematic, and meant to show her change in character. She struggled to airbend for the whole season because she was being held back by her mentality at the time that bending is what makes an avatar, and being forced to not act made it even harder. So once her mentality was challenged to the highest degree, she was forced to act in order to save her friend, which was the only other notable thing she valued. After this, Korra still upheld her idea that being the Avatar and bending all 4 elements was what defined her as a person, and we see this in the final scenes of Season 1, where Korra is depressed because all she had grown to love about herself was gone. She became a shell of her former self. All she wanted was to be the Avatar, and now that's all gone. When Aang and all the past Avatars appear to her and restore her bending, they gave her that sense of self back. I see why people have issues with this scene. For instance, if Season 1 was originally meant to be a one-off thing, then this ending is horrible because she just gets her bending back and doesn't have to earn it back. However, since there was meant to be a Season 2 at this point in production, but was too late to change anything, they had to work with what they had, which is why Season 2 Korra seemed like she regressed from the end of Season 1. Simply getting her bending given back to her doesn't eliminate her mindset of what it means to be the Avatar. If anything, it reaffirms it, because she knows what it feels like to not have her bending, her identity, and she still thinks that without her powers and her bending, she's nothing. If bending isn't the only important thing about being the Avatar, then why would every other Avatar help her get that supposedly unimportant thing back? It reaffirms Korra's initial mindset that that's all the Avatar is bending the elements, which serves as the basis